All right, Italian Grand Prix Stage 3, qualifying stage. All right, so before the end of this stage, we're going to have to bring the PR of this car, in my case, Red Bull Racing, up to 119.2. And that's what's required for the final goal, by the way. So now my step 2 tunings from that I started on the last stage are done. So let's put 2 more tunings on this car to meet that PR requirement, which I can do by getting step 3 gearbox mapping. Gearboxing, yeah, that too. Gearbox mapping, and the next one, the power unit optimization. So that's what you're gonna need. So compared to the last stage, for this stage we're gonna need 2 more. So this time I'm gonna need 6 more tunings to complete the stage 3. And once those are done, I should have a PR high enough, 119.2, which is what's required to get through this qualifying stage. But first 3 goals on this stage should be, I obviously have enough PR to get through the first 3. All right, so first goal for stage 3 here, it's another drafting, and have to finish first at some point before the end of the race, obviously. And don't get drafted more than 3 seconds. Right, one of those goals again, not getting drafted. So as I said in previous stage, one of the ways you can achieve that or make that easier is to basically pit them. Now you don't want to pit every single one, because that's going to slow you down too much if you decide to choose that as your strategy. So you have to be a little bit more careful with who you decide to pit. And for this challenge, since they are asking us to win the race, I'm going to really, the first priority is to chase down the leader, right? Giving him a little nudge there to Ocon to make sure that he doesn't try to draft behind me, since this long straight is a pretty nice spot for drafting. And Ricardo, I'll send them off for an excursion there. Goodbye, have fun. So yeah, so like that did not, I don't think that slowed me down all that significantly, but that also afforded me a nice long path that I can just, shoot down without having to, worry about Daniel Ricciardo, trying to draft behind me. So far so good. P8. Another chicane, kind of the same line that I've been using to avoid being drafted, right? Draft dodging in a very different context. All right, and that one wasn't as good, but I think I gave Kimi Räikkönen enough of a nudge that he didn't quite get on the line that he probably would have liked to gotten on without getting shoved. All right. So I was able to get away, and Antonio, I'll push him just, yeah. That works too. Just straight up shoving. You just have to be careful that you don't get tangled up once again. And Sergio Perez, alright. I will just straight up race you for that one. Kind of like a drag race here. And then, yeah, see, that's the tricky thing, is you don't want to be in front when we're all approaching the chicane. We all have to slow down, and if he's behind you, he'll still draft, which means you're gonna you can very easily fail the goal for letting them get near you. Alright, so Lance got a little bit of drafting behind me there. That's okay, we still have enough buffer. Alright, now we're in P2. So now I gotta well, I guess I already racked up my drafting requirement of 6 kilometers or 6,000 meters or 6,652 yards if you're using imperial units, that is. Alright, so there we go, another first place finish to start off this qualifying stage. So that's a nice way to start a stage. Alright, 4 minutes 29 seconds and change. And pick up that max PR available, plus driver XP, some 791. And 30,200 motorsport dollars for finishing first in that 3-lapper cup here at Monza. Alright, so looking pretty good. Car does need service, so we'll get that done and we'll continue after a few ads, right? 6 ads or so to get the 3-hour wait time. Alright, so now that the car service is done, continue on to goal 2. Alright, finish within minute 29 and draft for at least 3 kilometers or 3,281 yards. Right, and the outlap is going to be a pretty lengthy one. So once again, when you got this kind of goal, since this outlap is not part of the minute 29, so best to get your drafting done behind George Russell here, unless you are him. If you're using Williams to race, obviously, then you would have somebody else to draft behind. And if I remember correctly, I think this might have been the goal where if you didn't catch drafting from your opponent from the outlap, then there's nobody to catch up to the rest of the goals. So you got to make sure you complete that drafting part of the goal first before you start the timed lap, right? Because finishing a lap around Monza road course under minute 29 is not exactly a challenge, right? Especially with the number of tunings that we got on this car already. Should be a pretty easy goal. And obviously there is no stipulation on like having to stay on track or anything like that, so if necessary you can even cut through the chicanes if you are struggling. Although I would advise against that kind of habit, because that's just it's important to know your track, and improve your skill, improve your time. So alright, so 53 seconds. We still have 30 seconds left to go here, so that is plenty of time left on the clock to wrap up this final bit of the race here. Alright, so with some extra 10 seconds left on the clock. and then some, as I finished minute 18 and change. All right. And that is good enough for another first place finish. Some 442 driver XP and the 10,050 motorsport dollars for a lap around Monza. All right. I suppose the downside of these longer races is that if you're not taking advantage of the instant service offer, then you'll have to just service your car more frequently, which is not that big of a deal. All right, so 2 goals down. Let's continue on to goal 3. This is going to be a fastest lap challenge, and while doing that, you have to make sure you stay on track and don't get drafted for more than 3 seconds. So another one of those draft dodging challenges. All right. So once again, avoid getting drafted is going to be, that's going to mess up your line a little bit, because you have to, make sure your opponent's name does not show up right behind you, right? Like when the distance is like, I want to say up to about 30 meters, you're not in the clear. So anytime you are more than 30 meters ahead, then the chances are you're probably clear. Nobody's going to be able to draft behind you, unless obviously they can go faster than you. Then you're still not in the clear. But anyway, so cleared my opponents relatively easily through Ascari there in the pre-lap. And now we have to set the fastest lap this time. So we'll draft a little bit from Vettel and gain some speed. And apparently I was cleared through the chicane there, so didn't get disqualified for going off track. And this is going to be a little bit trickier because Verstappen, he's pretty fast. So trying to avoid him from drafting behind me, it's going to be a little tricky. And rightfully so, he did get some behind me. But yeah, looks like I am in the clear for the time being, as Daniel wasn't able to. I got separation early enough from Daniel that I was able to avoid getting drafted from him. So that's good. And apparently minute 18 and change, just under minute 19, is good enough for the fastest lap. All right, 364 driver XP for that effort, to add to my driver Alex Albon, and another 10,050 motorsport dollars. All right. So that is 3 goals down in this qualifying stage. And all right, there's enough service bars left for the final goal, which we'll have to wait till those tunings are done. So I'll have to watch a few ads to get those done, and then we'll return after those in a second. All right, now that those final setup tunings to meet the PR requirement is done, let's tackle this final goal for stage 3, where we got to finish under 319. And while we are at it, we cannot start the second lap anything better than fourth or something like that. So you have to start the second lap in P4. So my strategy is I'm gonna try to. I mean, obviously you have 3 minutes 19 seconds to complete 2 laps, which is plenty of time. But at the same time, I don't want to be coming in all alone at the end of lap 1. I have to come in, start the lap 2 in 4th place. So that means I need to keep pace with these rest of the gang here that are behind me. So my strategy is I'm going to try to bunch them up a little bit. So the basically second through 4th place pack is just that pack. Make sure they are kind of staying close together. So in the second lap, when I have to overtake all of them again to, reclaim the win, it'll be at least a little bit more manageable. Because obviously if I let the first guy go early on, or too early, then that might pose a bit of a trouble. So there we go. Stay behind Lando here. That sounds like a good place to be. Get the drafting going. Into Parabolica. Come on, come on. You can do it. There we go. Pretty secure in P4. And I want to say DRS. Yes. No such thing in Real Racing 3. Alright. And should be able to overtake Pierre. There we go. P1. And second chicane. Pretty nice, clean line through there. And, the rest. Just keep it clean. We still have another minute left here, so that is plenty of time. So, yep. As long as you don't make some, monumental mistake. Even then, I think with still some, 40 seconds left here as we're heading into the final Parabolica, even if you, completely skid out here, I think you're still gonna have enough time to complete this under 3:19. You might lose a place or two, but that's not a part of the challenge. Obviously, as I've been saying, finishing first does have its perks, like higher payout is always nice to see for all the effort you put in. Alright, so it's worth 505 driver XP. 2 laps equals 20,100 motorsport dollars. Alright, so another stage complete here with the finishing of that final goal of stage 3. Let's put the car in red. So we'll get that service started. And stage 4 and 5, I might actually pick it up on next day, so I can take advantage of that instant service and instant tuning for the remainder of the event. But for now, we'll pick up that stage completion reward of 20,000 motorsport dollars and 10 gold. Alright, so that'll do it for all the practice and qualifying here in Monza, Italian Grand Prix 2020 event. So we'll continue with the actual Grand Prix event. Stage 4 and 5 coming up in the next videos. So stay tuned for that, and we'll catch you guys there. Alright, thanks for watching.